Okay, there you go. We're recording.
Yay!
So I guess I'll just start off because I wanted to quickly go over the Booking Blitz thing, and then Lauren's going to take over, and she's going to be talking about now that you've booked. So we all have bookings we got from the Blitz, and she's going to help you with how does that look now? What are we going to be doing with the hostess coaching? Because that's super duper important if you want to hold those bookings. And then she's going to talk about the spa and closing the spa. Okay. So the Booking Blitz was pretty good. I mean, not everybody took part. It's really a personal choice to take part. And I think the ones who did really went after it pretty good. So we had a total of 26 spas booked between 6 people. Hey, what do you, yeah, not bad, huh? So, and the top 2 people were Susan with 7 and Naomi with 7, unless you had others that I don't know about. What does your shirt say? Wait a minute. What does your shirt say? Show us your shirt. Not a regular mom, but a cool mom. Awesome. You're pregnant? I didn't know. You're very pregnant. Congratulations. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Wow. You're going to pop any day now.
I had muted myself. Yes, I am expecting, and I bought this shirt. Yeah.
Oh my God. I didn't know what was going on when she stood up and the words got bigger.
July.
July. Oh my God, you're almost there. Hey, Susan. So I was just announcing, Susan, that you and Naomi were tied for the top number of spas booked in the Blitz. So you both are going to get a gift. One from you're getting from Lauren, and Naomi to get from me. And Terry Lee, you booked 4. That's amazing. That's great. Cassandra booked 3, I think. She was working on 4, but we didn't hear. So good job, you guys. It really is a choice. And so that's awesome. Now, the homework from last week was, hold on a second. Let me go here. Connect with your director to share your why and your goals. And that included really doing your video. So I know not everybody did their video. So here's the deal now. Now you have to have your video done by tomorrow night. Okay? You already took that stuff down. You already wrote those things down. So it's just a matter of sharing it. So you got to make sure you do that. So everybody who's watching after, make sure as well. And then the other thing is making sure you've watched at least to module 6 in the modules. Was everybody able to do that? I know, Terry Lee, you finished yours. Susan, you've done that before. Naomi, did you? Atta girl. Cool. So, because that's going to really help you now that Lauren's going to get chatting about, you know, the Simple Spa and what she does. So that's, you know, you've kind of gotten a framework of that. So I'm going to let her take it away. Go, Lauren.
Yay, go me. Just kidding. Hey, let me know if the breeze starts to be bothersome, if it like interferes with the microphone. Because I sound great, but I can't hear what you guys hear. All right, so I'm going to talk to you girls first about hostess coaching, and then a little bit about what I do at my spa and how to close it and that type of thing. So last week we talked about booking and having all your bookings and getting them on the calendar and getting them set and dates. So what do you do now? Because you don't want all of your hard work and effort in getting those spas booked and taking the time to talk to them. You don't want to go ahead and set aside time on your calendar and then it be totally gone. So I'm going to cover some basics that you should be doing for hostess coaching and a couple of ideas. Number one, when you think about hostess coaching, it's definitely about relationship building. You want to make sure that the hostess feels like she has a relationship with you and that you two are working together to make this spa be as successful as possible. So one of the first things you're going to want to do is go over with her basically how many people she wants to invite and what the size of the spa is, and if she wants to have any kind of theme, or if you're going to focus on anti-aging or something like that. You want to sort of get all of that out on the table and see sort of what she's expecting and what she's planning for. So typically I tell my spa hostesses that the perfect size is 6 to 8 people. And that if it's going to be more than 8, I'm like, it feels a lot more like a party. So I do kind of set the expectation that 6 to 8 is going to be very relaxing and spa-like. And the larger it gets, I can easily accommodate it, but just that it does feel more like a party. And once we kind of solidifies what size she's going to have, then we talk about how many people she should invite. So she needs to realize that not everyone is going to make it, even though, you know, they might say they can, they won't all make it. So as long as it works for her 2 or 3 closest friends, then we know we have a good date. Because it's not going to be possible to get every woman together. I always say it's like getting women together is like herding cats. Like it's just not possible to get all women to agree on the same date and time. So once she knows it works for her 2 or 3 closest friends, she can even text them right there, or maybe they're at the spa, they're committing to coming. Then you know we have a good date. Then we're going to do an invitation, and I love to use Red Stamp. It's a free app that lets you create a little text invitation, but she can also email it, post it on her Facebook page if she's going to do a Facebook group that goes with it. I saw a really great idea the other day. One of the directors was saying she never has any cancellations, and somebody asked her, you know, like, what are you doing so that you don't have any cancellations? And she said that I'm asking the hostess to text me her guests' phone numbers. And she says, I'm the one that texts out the invitation. So she actually sends the Red Stamp text invitation to the spa hostess's guests. That way the spa hostess isn't slacking or doesn't forget, or you know that people are actually getting invited. Plus, you can also send them a link to your website or the monthly brochure if you send the invitation. And it allows you to also do the follow-up reminder for the hostess. So again, the hostess is a busy woman, and this is one way you can help take the stress off of her and take a little bit more ownership of the spa itself. I thought that was a really great idea, just to get the list of phone numbers to send the text for her. And then just give her a gift for that. Just say, hey, you know, as a thank you for setting up the spa and giving me the list of phone numbers so that I can do the follow-up, you know, I'll give you a free detox bath soak mini at your party, or you can give her another spa mini thing, or maybe a product you got really cheap that she likes. You can give it to her, let her choose. But, you know, just reward her for that, because, you know, she's trusting you to text her friends and reach out to them. And sometimes I do offer an actual postcard if she wants to hand out like some things at work. It's nice to, you know, have something to hand to people. Also create a Facebook event that goes along with the spa. It's nice. You can post stuff in there. Or you can create the event and invite her, and then she invites her friends. I find that the more you can take ownership of hostess coaching, the better it is for you. So the more you can control the invitation, the stuff that's happening around the spa, the more likely it is that the spa is going to happen. So after I've kind of got that rolling, we've got the invitations out. I typically try to book my spas 2 to 3 weeks out. I find the farther the spa books out, the harder it is to get it to hold, because life changes so much in, you know, just a day. You can imagine their life changes in a month. So if you do choose to book far out, you are also making the choice that you're probably going to be touching base with your hostess once a week, because you want to stay in touch and make sure that that day and time is working for her. And you may also want to offer her a gift for keeping the original date. That could be something she likes at a discount. It could be another mini, just something. Just let her know, you know, I know we're booking this far out. I'm setting this time aside on my calendar for you. As a thank you for keeping this original date and honoring your commitment with me, you'll get 40% off the skincare tool or the charcoal mask or something like that. So that's a way you can help keep a spa date working. And then I just stay in touch with my hostess. I reach out to her a couple times before the party. There's no real rhyme or reason to it other than she's going to hear from me at least 3 to 4 times before the actual spa date. Usually after I send out the invitations, I touch base with her about 3 to 4 days later, and I say, hey, just checking in, just want to make sure everyone got the invitation, everything's going well. Do you have any questions for me? Then she lets me know if she does. She might. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. But the point of it's simply that you reach out to them. Then I reach out to her again in about a week, and I'll say, oh, I'm looking forward to your spa, you know, next Thursday at 6 p.m. You know, here's a link you can text, or I text her the link and say, Here's the brochure if you have any coworkers or friends you want to show stuff to ahead of time that I didn't invite. Just again, the primary purpose of this is you're reaching out to her again so that she knows the spa is happening. She knows what's going on. She knows that you're serious and you're going to show up. And then usually I touch base about 2 to 3 days before the party and just say, hey, I'm looking forward to your spa this Thursday. How many people should I plan for? Because I want her to start reminding and talking to her friends 2 to 3 days before the spa. I don't want to ask her for the head count the morning of or the night before, because sometimes they're like, oh yeah, that's right, I need to remind all my friends. So I ask for the head count about 2 to 3 days out. And then typically like the day of the spa or the night before, I say, hey, looking forward to your spa tomorrow. I'm still planning on 6 people, right? And so that way, I've got a pretty good idea of the head count. She knows I'm serious. She knows I'm showing up. Her friends know. If you're taking charge of the texting, you can send them a text reminder the night before. Just say something like, hey, really looking forward to meeting you tomorrow. Don't forget to come dressed comfortably. Come in minimal makeup. I have a lot of girls that if the hostess doesn't tell them, they show up in full makeup because they think it's a party and they come all dressed up and then they're like, what? You're going to make me take this off? So again, if you're in charge of that or again, I reach out to if you're not texting the guests, I reach out to the hostess and I say, hey, don't forget to remind them to come dressed comfortably with little to no makeup on. So that way, the guests are prepared. If you're doing the Facebook, you can post something on Facebook in the group. Just staying in touch with them, communicating, that type of stuff is super helpful. And I always like to let my hostess know what I'm going to be using. So I like to say that I'm going to be using the microwave because you'll hear a little bit how I do my spa, but I use the microwave to heat stuff up. And I don't know about you ladies, but my microwave isn't always clean unless you're OCD. But I would always want to give it a wipe down before I'd let a stranger put something in it. So I always say I'm going to use the kitchen sink, the microwave, and the living room area. So that way they know sort of what to clean and where I'm going to be. And that way they can plan for that. And that's my polite way of telling them their microwave needs to be clean. And it's a majority of the time, it is, which is nice. So I do have a letter I've made in the past. It's like a 1-page letter that sort of breaks down what guests will be experiencing at the spa. Now I just text that. The hostess will often ask me, she'll say, what do I tell my guests they're going to be doing? And I'll just text her a little list of the treatments they'll be doing. There's lots of different ways to do that. But the main idea behind hostess coaching is simply that you're setting expectations, you're building a relationship, you're answering questions, and you're making sure that there's going to be people at the spa. That's really all hostess coaching is. You're like a party planner. You're helping the hostess plan her party. And if you aren't helping her at all, she's not going to know what to expect. She's most likely going to reschedule or cancel, or she won't be prepared. And then you will be frustrated. So if you just take the tiny time to send the text, make the call, send the email, it's going to make a huge difference in the results of your spa. And again, if there's a specific thing you're looking for, definitely reward the hostess for that. Offer that as a gift. So if you want to have 8 guests at that spa, tell her, if she has 8 guests at the spa, you will give her a gift. Or just say as a thank you for responding to all my texts. If you respond to all my texts before your spa, I'll have a gift for you. You can set expectations like that ahead of time and then just reward her for that. So that way she has a positive feeling about the spa and feels prepared. So thoughts, questions?
I have a question.
Okay.
So do you, because I know we all get busy, and if you have 8 spas scheduled in a month, it's not always going to be on the same day that your host is coaching because every spa is a different day. So how do you organize not forgetting to keep up your hostess coaching? Or are you just good?
Well, if you stay tuned for session 3.
Okay.
My hostesses fall right into my client follow-up system. So they just get put on the day and time that because I sort every week. I sit down every Sunday and I sort who do I need to contact this week. My hostesses are part of that process. So I will put them down and say, oh, it's Tuesday, I'm going to reach out to Stacy, and Wednesday I'm going to text Molly. and go from there. So you do have to be a little organized, but again, my follow-up system for my clients, spa girls, and hostesses is all the same. Good question. Any other questions?
Is everybody comfortable with hostess coaching then? You got the idea?
I always want to call it hostess coaching.
Hostess coaching, I think I almost did. You just have to do it, is what we're saying. You just have to do it. Like, I love that you said, if you're going to take the time to block off time to do business and you don't do the party planning with them, I love how you used that terminology. Why did you even book it? You may lose it or you won't have great results. We want to make money, honey. So yeah, that was good wording to say that. You can block the time, make it happen. Mm-hmm. And you and your hostess will be friends by the time you get there. You'll be buddies. She'll feel comfortable with you and she'll be happy to have you walk into her house and she'll understand. So she'll be your partner. So one call before the spa is not enough. She won't know who you are.
Hear from you at least 4 times.
She will have forgotten. She'll have forgotten to invite. It'll be a disaster and you'll be so mad at yourself.
Yes. And I just take every spa as a learning experience. You know, after the spa, if it didn't go quite the way I wanted it to go, maybe this is because I was trained as a school teacher. We were always trained to teach a lesson and then reflect and see, like, what did we like about the lesson? What would we change? And I always do that after my spa. I'm like, okay, that spa didn't quite go how I wanted. What could I have done differently? And I sort of look through and think, okay, maybe this and that. And oftentimes it does fall to hostess coaching. You know, I showed up to a spa once and I had to wait 45 minutes while she made food for guests to come, one guest. She wanted to wait for this one girl to come. And this one girl never showed up. So I waited 45 minutes while I'm watching this woman cook. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, like if I had been in control of the inviting, I would have known if this girl was coming or not. Do you know what I mean? And I never should have waited 45 minutes. But there was a part of me that's like, well, that's kind of my fault. I didn't really tell this girl enough. So as it seems like it's not that important of a thing, but actually it's like setting the foundation for your spa to be successful.
I've been doing the Facebook event one, and it's easy because you can duplicate your events. So you don't have to redo every one. I have June's relaxation spa. And it has the date and the time, the address, and then I have, you know, the description's the same. I just have to change the name. Every time there's a different hostess, change the time, date, and the name. And then I didn't, you know, cancel everybody out from the previous one and invite her. Make sure we're friends on Facebook, invite her, and then she invites people in there. And whenever we post, someone posts, it notifies everybody. So they can't forget. That's another great thing about the Facebook one. They can't forget because they keep getting notifications that Michelle posted or June posted or whatever. So that's a really great reason to use Facebook. You know, you're constantly sending reminders out. Anyway, carry on.
All right. So next I'm going to talk to you girls briefly about what I do at my spa. I know module 6 goes over a spa and how to do a spa. I don't want to spend a lot of time going over every little step because I think what I want to focus more of my energy on is what is the essence of the spa? Like, what are you trying to do? Because everyone's spa is going to be a little different because we're all a little different. And sometimes we do a charcoal mask spa. Sometimes we do an anti-aging spa. And the steps of that are all a little different. So I'm not going to go step by step. Instead, I'm going to cover like the idea behind each part of the spa. So first of all, when you pick a theme with a hostess, before you go do that spa, it's a good idea to sit down with yourself and sort of outline the order of how you're going to do things, because the way you're going to do a charcoal mask spa is not the same way you're going to do a relaxation spa, which is not the same way you're going to do a microderm spa. So just make sure before you go in, you have a little idea of the order and how you want to do things. So that way you feel comfortable and you make sure that you have all the products you need for that particular spa. Then I shoot to get there about 15 to 10 minutes early. I just set up real simply. I have my spa bag. I have a spa tote. And I set up my spa music. I actually bring a little portable spa player. I've got my iPad, or you can hook up your phone or whatever to a speaker. I set the mood. So I have the spa music. I have my little spa bag. I don't pull a bunch of stuff out because I don't want to make a huge mess. I'm trying to make it simple. And then I set my hand stuff at the sink. So I put the hand scrub, the hand cream, and I use a plastic back massager. And then depending on the season, I talk to the hostess whether she wants the hot towel, the washcloth. So I use wet washcloths for the facial part in actually almost every spa I do because they love them, and that's the closest they get to feeling like it's a real spa. So I really love that. I stick with it. The washcloths have been soaked in the peppermint detox bath soak. So I prep those ahead of time. They're already wrapped and ready to go in a Ziploc bag. And I'll ask the hostess, do you want the washcloths hot or cold? In the winter, I just make them hot. In the summer, I give her a choice because it gets really hot in Arizona. So sometimes, they don't want a hot towel on their face in the middle of summer. So I will give them the option to toss the towel either in the freezer or the microwave. So I heat up my little neck wrap. I heat up my towels, and that's it. I'm set up and ready to go. At this point in time, there's probably one guest there already. So I do all of the greeting and welcome time right then. I take them one at a time to the sink. I do their hands first. This is just this is the way I was taught from the beginning. It's just there's got to be that time where you kind of interact with them, introduce yourself, learn a little bit about them. I use the time at the sink with them, while they're scrubbing their hands, I'm rubbing their back, and I'm asking them, how do they know the hostess? Do they work? Do they have a job? I want to learn a little bit about each guest and kind of get a feel for them. And then once we're pretty much done with all the hands, I've pretty much met everybody, and I have an idea of who's in the room. And I look at the hostess and I say, okay, we're ready to go. If there's food, I usually encourage them to just leave the food at that point in time at the table. They could take their drink with them. I'm not too picky about that. But I don't really think a plate of food is super compatible with the rest of the spa. And I let them know, for the next 30 minutes or so, you're going to be busy with your hands and lips and stuff. So you can pick your food up as soon as we're done. And we transition over to the living room. And this is where we go through the basics of the spa, where depending on the spa they've chosen, I will follow the steps. So if I do a relaxation spa, I will guide them through the relaxation time with the cucumber iPads, the relaxation, deep breathing, the spa music, all of that. Then we go through the facial, the different steps of the skincare, the cleanser, the scrub. We talk about anti-aging. Basically, I'm going through all our best-selling products and making sure they know a little bit about what each product does. Not so much what's in the product. I don't focus on that. My goal is during the spa experience for them to really enjoy themselves, to be relaxing, and to be learning about the benefits of why they would be using the product. I don't want to talk their ear off because they're going to check out. My goal is to keep things moving and let them experiencing things and enjoying things. And I find that works really well. I'll stop maybe after a certain portion and ask, if anyone has questions. Sometimes they'll just ask me if they have questions, and I'm fine with that. But I do try to keep things moving pretty quickly, and I probably focus on 1 to 2 points per product. So, for example, with the exfoliating polish, I'll say, this product is designed to exfoliate, soften your skin. It's going to give your skin a really nice glow. And a lot of times, as I'm talking about the product, I'm squeezing it into their hands for them. So I'm not just standing and talking and then quietly squeezing. I'm actually talking and squeezing. And that helps save time. And also, they're like, oh, yeah. And I'm like, oh, so I'm like, you feel those beads? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, they're really gentle. They're rubbing them in their face. So, again, they're getting the full spa experience that way. So after I've talked through the products, typically I cover in a relaxation spa, I cover, a little bit of our spa line, which would be the lip PLI pads, a little bit of our skincare line, which is a cleanser, toner, moisturizer, a little bit of the anti-aging, the Tight, Firm, and Fill. We usually do one eye. And I talk about that. I pass around a picture of a girl or maybe a little collage of pictures. There's some great pictures out there before and afters. And just let them know, the benefits of that type of thing. As I'm talking through this part, the anti-aging part or the spa part, I say, we have different types of spas if you're interested in trying more of these products. If you really love the anti-aging and you want to try those, you can book an anti-aging spa, or where everyone can microderm and play with more of the tight vermifill. If you're really loving these bath and body products, we have an awesome foot spa where you can soak your feet and try more of those products. And then I say, we have a fantastic makeup line. I have a lot of the Beauty Control makeup on right now. So if you're interested in getting color matched and learning what colors would look good for you and you want to try our amazing mascara, you can book a glam spa where I'll work with you and we'll play with makeup. So I'm sort of sowing seeds throughout my spa as I'm talking about each product, we also have different spas where they can experience more. I remember our regional used to always say, don't show them everything in the kitchen sink at the spa party. That is not what you're supposed to be doing. You will overwhelm them. Instead, focus on just a few things and leave them wanting more. Because if they want more, they're going to book with you again. And that is your goal. Oh my gosh, the sprinklers just came on, scared the crap out of me. Did you see me jump? I was like, oh my God. Okay. All right, I'm going to calm down. But I was so focused on what I was talking about.
Somebody was peeking through the curtains at you before, too. I don't know if it was a dog with their nose in the window or something. The curtains.
It was a dog. I'm sure it was a dog.
Oh.
Okay. All right. I'm good. Whew. Okay. So yeah, I just am sowing the seeds for booking and not showing them absolutely everything. I want them to book again with me. I want them to experience more with me. And so I do give them little tastes and teases, but then let them know, that they do other spas. A lot of times I work just directly out of the kit. I mean, you want to be signing people up. You want them to join and you want them to believe that they can do this business. And if you're pulling out all this random stuff, they're going to think, oh my gosh, I have to have all these products. Like, how am I ever going to do this? But if you're pulling out a lot of what's in the kit, then they're going to feel way more comfortable and look at that kit and say, oh, okay, she worked from that bag. She worked with those products. Beauty Control is giving me everything I need to do this business. So again, that's why you don't want to overload them with product, and instead just let them know if they want to try other things that they can do it that way. So that is my main technique for how I do my spa. I actually could probably, if you girls want, post my outline and steps. I have that written down on a document. I can post that in our Business Builders page if you want to see like my personal steps. And again, the module is really good. They've got a really good breakdown of how to do a spa, again, using the products that are in that so-called bag that they give you. So any questions about the spa before I get to the closing of the spa? Any questions about how I do stuff?
How long do you put the neck wrap in the microwave for?
I do a minute on each side.
A minute on each side? Okay.
Yeah, because the last thing you want to do is pop it.
Squish it in between. You take it out, squish it, because you don't want hot spots. And watch it. If you see it starting to do this, take it out. It's gonna pop.
Yeah.
Okay. It's good to know.
Microwave's different. So if you're not sure, I would do a minute, then 30 seconds, and feel it. And then you can always add time.
They rotate that neck wrap around on their neck as they're doing their hands. So as they're doing the hands at the sink with me and I'm rubbing their back and talking to them, they've got the neck wrap on. Then they pass it to the next person. That's how I rotate the neck wrap around at the beginning.
You doing the warm cloths as they're sitting in the living room then to do their facial? And they're doing both sides all over?
The hot towel is what they use to take off their facial products, yes. So, one other tip that's really helpful is bring a bag of the makeup remover wipes, because you're always going to have some girl that shows up with her makeup on. And it's really nice to just be able to hand her a makeup wipe and say, oh, hey, here, take off your makeup, for the facial. Because the awesome thing about the makeup wipes is it takes everything off in one shot. And then they could do the rest of the process without makeup getting all over your washcloths. And sometimes when they have a lot of eye makeup on, then it's like all over the place. So I always recommend bringing a thing of makeup remover wipes. All right. Any other questions before I move on to the closing? Okay, so at this point in time, they are relaxed and happy. They have tried quite a few products and they are excited. And so now it's where we focus on book book, sell, recruit. So that's actually the order I go in, which is book, sell, recruit. So I've planted seeds throughout the spa about booking. So at this point in time, I'll say, you know, you've experienced a handful of Beauty Controls products. If you would like to experience other Beauty Control products, again, I go over the spas that I offer. One thing you can do is you can create a little spa menu. I actually use little postcards on a ring. So I have a key ring and I got postcards hanging off of it, and I pass them around. I'm like, these are the themes that I offer. But if you don't have the postcards, you can just go on and make a little menu that says like charcoal mask spa, and you can put a little picture of a girl with a black mask on her face. And then pedicure spa, you can have a picture of feet soaking in a tub or something. And you just pass one around and they look at it. You say, these are the different spas that I offer. If you are interested in booking a spa and trying one of these products tonight, this will help Jenny out. Jenny needs 2 bookings, and so if you book one of the spas, you're going to help her get closer to her goal for free product or discounted product or whatever you're doing. And then sometimes you can even offer gifts. You can have little wrapped gifts on the table. For a long time, I had like a big bucket of minis and samples and spa socks and spa headbands. It was like, reminds me of like those clear buckets you get like Cheetos in, you know, like from Costco. And if they booked a spa right then and there in the moment, they could pick a little goodie out of the tub. And the goodie didn't cost me anything more than like $1 or $2. It was really cheap. So if they booked a spa, then they would go ahead and pick a little goodie out of the tub. Another thing that worked really well is I do hot dates. A hot date is a day that works for you, and it's a day that you want to fill, and it's a day that you want to fill quickly. So a hot date's usually like a week or 2 out. Yep, Michelle's got them marked. Perfect. Michelle, talk so they can see that.
Talk? Oh, sorry. So yeah, hot date is, I just put a sticky on something like Lauren said that's coming up. You decide how long out. I usually do it within a week, week and a half. I have an opening that I want to fill. And so I have a sticker on there if I'm at a spa, and I'll say, you know, if this date works for you, you're getting an extra something good from me. So it gives them a little extra incentive to pick that date.
Yep. And then one of the things I was doing was like, it was like, whatever the day of the month was, they'd get that amount of products for that amount. So if I wanted to book on the 11th, they'd get $50 of products for $11. Or, you know, so the farther out in the month they book, the less of a deal it is for them. Because it's always nice to book your calendar early. But I would never book the month out. It was always like, you know, I'm in June trying to get, you know, the next week filled. I would do a hot date. And I usually would only have 2 hot dates. That was it. So they'd have to grab them quick if they wanted them. And yeah, just make sure you talk about it. Give them options. Find something that works for you. The hostess can rebook as well. If she wants to try something different or do a glam spa with her friends, that would count. But again, we're shooting for 2 bookings, and you want to make sure you share options and then have some kind of little gift or goodie for them for booking. Don't give them the gift or goodie or anything like that unless they actually give you a date. So what I always say is I'll say, you know, when do you think would work for you? Why don't we go ahead and pencil something down? And if you want to talk to a couple of friends and we need to reschedule, that's fine. But it's probably a good idea that we go ahead and pencil something down now, because I fill up really quickly and I'd hate for you to miss out. Something like that. I also, this is great. But on days that I didn't want to book a spa on my calendar, I booked a fake spa. So, like for example, like Friday night, if I was having date night with my husband, you could write date night with husband, or you could write Carol's spa at 6 o'clock. And that way they would see, oh, I can't book a spa. I actually had like a printed out calendar sheet, or I opened my planner. But make sure if you're going to show an actual calendar to them that you have dates blocked out and things booked. You need to look busy. Don't open up a wide open blank calendar, because they're going to think, you know, you want to have it look like you've got stuff going on. Even if you don't, make it up. That's my advice. So it worked really well. It helped me control my calendar and schedule, which is really important. That's why you're doing this business, so you can be flexible. and make money on your own time. So make sure that you take full control of that. You do not have to book a spa when they want. If you don't want to do spas on Saturday, don't book a spa on Saturday. There are lots of businesses that are closed on a Saturday. You can say, I do spas Thursday nights and Sunday afternoons. Which one works better for you? And if, just know that you can take control of your calendar.
Can I just throw something into another incentive for like a hot date or something? If you don't want to, if you already have the products, is you could say anyone who books on one of my hot dates will get a 5-minute or get a 5-minute makeover or something at their spa. So if you already have like CC cream, mascara, lip gloss, bronzer or something like that, just like 4 or 5 products, you could just do a 5-minute face on them at the end. And that's introducing the glamour side of things, the makeup, and it's just, you already have those things, right? So that's another idea just to use for a hot date, so you don't have to buy a bunch of stuff, because women love getting a makeover, An idea too.
Exactly. So you could say, like, I'll give you a 5-minute face at your next spa and you'll get to keep the mascara. So, okay, so next, selling. So I work off a set sheet that's got sets, and it also has individual items. I also have the monthly product brochure there as well. So I do talk through all of them, and I go through the specials that are happening. I do actually walk through the monthly product brochure with them, and I'll say, look at this on page 9 was this. We did this tonight. And on page 12 is this, and this is a sister product to this. And I don't talk a lot, but I do want to highlight, if the product we used is on sale, I do want to highlight it in the brochure. And then I will just kind of quickly go over spa menu just so they can sort of find where things are at. It saves me a lot of time in the long run, because I am, just trying to make sure that, they know where stuff is at and they can find it pretty quickly and they don't have to ask me a ton of questions. I also have a customer care card. This is where I collect some information about them and what they're interested in. It gives me their name, their phone. It lets me know if text is okay. The reason I put that on my customer care card, if text is okay, is because actually I want them to give me their cell number. I don't want their home number. I don't want their work phone number. I want their cell. And then I get their email, and then I'll ask them, one of the questions is, or how interested in you are you in having a spa? The next question is, how interested in you would you be in having a one-on-one appointment for makeup or anti-aging? How interested would you be in earning a little additional income or saving money on your products? Then I want to know if they'd like to be on my monthly email list, because you should never add someone to your email list unless you've asked their permission first. And I ask if they'd like to be added to my Facebook group. And so I request that they fill that out, and I say, if you girls could all fill this out for me, even if it's a bunch of, I have it like on a scale 1 to 5. So I say, even if it's a bunch of 1s and no's, I'm like, that's okay with me. I just want to know. Like, I like to be in the know. I don't want to be a bugaboo. So if you could all just fill that out for me, that would be awesome. And I get almost like 99.9% of them to fill that card out.
Can you post that on the Business Builders group as well?
I'll actually post. I won't be able to do it tonight because I don't have my laptop with me tonight, but I can do it tomorrow. I'll post my customer care card. I'll post my spa menu, and I'll post the steps of my personal spa.
Perfect.
And that's it. I just sort of really briefly go over it, and then I hand them a pen. Because you don't want to give them a pen until you're done talking. I guess maybe I give them a pen in a little bit later, but don't give them the pens right away. Wait to give them the pens. This is a teacher trick, because the moment you give them a pen, they're going to start filling everything out. And I let them know in the order form that I take cash, check, or credit card, and I use a square, so I let them know they don't have to fill out the bottom part with the credit card, that I'll go ahead and just run my square. And I kind of just I tell them that it takes about a week to get in, that I'll get everything to the hostess, and that shipping is, for me, I don't know what you girls charge, but I just tell everyone it's a flat $2 per guest. Maybe you guys do 3 or 5, I don't know, but
I do $2 for 1 or 2 items, $3 for 3 or more items.
Okay. Yeah, I just have always done $2, but I might actually raise it to 3 here pretty soon. But it's nice to, yeah, it's still cheap. I mean, most direct sales companies are charging double that. So then at that point in time, I have them look at my recruiting flyer, which I suppose I could also post on Facebook. And I just let them know. I talk through everything that comes in the kit. I show them what's on the kit, and I hold it back up because I've got the bag with all the stuff in it. I'm like, look, here's the skincare. Here are the iPads we used tonight. Here's the lip appeal. The company is giving you everything that you need to do this business at an amazing price. Now, you just saw on the menu what everything was priced. Look at this price. You know, this is a fantastic offer to get you going. This is going to give you everything that you need to spa yourself as well as spa other people. And if you want to start as simple as doing things in a Facebook group or on a Facebook page, you've got the charcoal mask. You can be demoing that. You can show people how to use the microderm. This comes with a class. You know, I go over the PDUs now online, that there's training that the company provides for free, and then they get all these products for doing the training. It's an unbelievable offer to them if they're interested at all in doing it and earning additional income. They can start small with one-to-ones. They can come watch me do a spa. I just sort of let them know that, you know, that there's so much flexibility with beauty control and how they choose to do it, but there's a lot of great ways for them to make money and earn additional income. If you want and you have time, you can play a ticket game where you can get 6 little tickets and you tell them a little bit about what you do. You can use props. You can pull things out of a bag and tell them all the reasons why you joined beauty control. And then they have to ask you a question about something about your job. They can't ask you about products, but they have to ask you something about your job or something about what it would be like to be a beauty control consultant. And then once they when they ask a question, they get a ticket. And then after 6 questions are up, I pull a ticket as a winner and they get a little prize. Again, it could be a little mini or spa socks or something that doesn't cost you a lot. Or it could be free shipping on their order. That's an option as well. But that's a great way just to get them engaged in asking questions. And if they're a little slow to ask questions, I might like whisper a question to the hostess and then she asks it. And then from there, it's pretty easy. But don't forget, this is another teacher thing. Make sure you give them wait time. So ask the question and then wait. You know, tell them how the game works and then give them time to think of something. They have to think of something to ask you. You know what you want them to ask you, but they have to think. So don't take that first little moment of silence as a bad thing. Give them just a little bit of time to like think, okay, what would be a good question to ask her? And then to be brave enough for them to raise their hand and ask. And, you know, just allow a little bit of time for that. And then once the game gets rolling, though, it's pretty fun. It's interesting to hear the questions they ask. And if they ask you a question that's close to something you want to talk about, you can easily sway it. So, for example, if they say, well, how much time a week do you spend doing this? You could say, well, I put in 10 to 12 hours, and that's one of the things I love about beauty control is that I get to decide that I put in 10 to 12 hours. So last week I went on vacation, and I did not work as many hours, and I got to make that choice. But I still made sales because I was posting something on Facebook. So do you see how I gave them a lot of information based off one little question that they asked? They didn't have to say, why, Lauren, what's your schedule like or anything like that. I was able to answer them in a more broad way by a really simple question. Or sometimes they'll say, they're not allowed to technically ask this, but they'll say, like, what's your favorite product? And I will say, you know, the Microderm Appeal. I fell in love with that product when I went to my first spa because I was a teacher and I had no money really extra and I wanted it, and that's why I joined. I joined so I could get the Microderm at a good price. Heck, I got it for free because I joined. So that, again, you can take any question and sort of direct it the way you want it to go. And because it's a game, they're listening because they want the prize. They want to participate. They don't want to ask a question that someone else asked. And it's a great way to talk about the opportunity in a fun way. And also, you know, say some things that you want to say. And then that's it. After that, I'm available for questions if you need my help. I walk around if they need me. Most of the time they do. I do try to pull them aside for the close if possible. Sometimes the house setting just doesn't allow it, so I will sit next to them and talk to them. If they've circled any kind of interest on the customer care card in anything, I'll just say, hey, I noticed you have some interest here in a spa. What were you thinking? It's better to ask questions, and they'll be like, oh, well, I was thinking my friends and family might want to do this, or, oh, I want to talk to my coworkers. And I'd be like, great, would you like to set something up now and pencil you down? Do you want me to follow up with you on Tuesday? And they'll let me know. And I just kind of work through that. And then I also give them some time to, because they've listened to me talk for the last 45 minutes. So I might go to the kitchen and pack up my hand stuff, make sure I've got all of my stuff out of the kitchen, and give them a little time to look at stuff. And then they'll be like, oh, Lauren, we have a question. And then I run back in and I answer their question. So I don't want to be like a vulture hovering over them. But at the same time, I want to be available if they need me. And that's it. That covers my hostess coaching all the way to the spa. I usually check the hostess out last because, she's going to get all her hostess rewards and benefits. And sometimes she's got orders, or she thinks someone's going to order that didn't make it. And I want to make sure that she has that opportunity to be last, because she's going to get the products based off the bookings and the sales and all of that. And sometimes she'll push a friend to book if she's short one booking. So you always want to make sure you talk to her last. And I can't remember who said this. Maybe it was Blair, but Blair Billings says, the hostess is always the first person you should look at as your recruit. Because clearly she was invested enough to do all this for you and loves the product enough to have a spa. She's definitely someone you would want to look at as being a recruit for you.
One thing about just going back to hostess coaching too, and the 2 bookings, I always make sure that either before or when I'm at the spa at the beginning, and getting there a little early is perfect, because you can actually do a couple treatments on the hostess if you like, but also they get comfortable with you if they haven't met you, is to say our goal is to get 2 or more bookings. You put that on their heads at the beginning before their friends are all there. And and I know in Canada, in the US, in the new beauty book, we don't actually have the hostess rewards showing, but you can find the hostess rewards online under forms on file so that you know what they are. And if you can talk to your hostess in advance or at the beginning when you first get there and say, hey, our goal is 2 or more bookings so we can unlock these rewards for you, quickly explain. It takes a couple minutes to quickly go over them with her and say, which one would you like to go for? That way you've already talked to her and prepped her to, for getting the bookings. So she can bug her friends and say, I got 1 booking. And you can say, we got 1 booking already. We just need 1 more. And she can rebook if she wants. So, but her knowing that in advance is really helpful. So at the end, she's on board with you. She's not like, oh, now you're pushing my friends to book. Like you've got that already cleared out of the way. So that's important.
Yes. So our time is coming to an end. So real quick, I just want to give you girls your homework, and then we'll take time for questions. Homework for this week is first of all, don't stop booking. I feel like don't stop, but don't stop booking. Like just keep doing that. Always you should be trying and texting and messaging. I reach out for spas every week. Hostess coach, start hostess coaching all of those bookings you got. Make sure that that's happening. Make sure you're communicating, that you're getting invitations sent out, that all of that is happening. And then we encourage you to come watch one of us do a spa. Obviously, Canadian girls, unless you want to come to Arizona, just write it off as a tax expense. You can come watch me do a spa. But set up a time to come watch us do a spa, see what it's like, or just to toss this at you, just to make things a little crazy. But why don't you come spa us, do a one-on-one facial on us, and practice your verbiage on us. We're the safest people you could practice on. Take us through a facial, take us through a little spa, let us hear what you're saying, and then at the end we can give you lots of positive encouragement, feedback, and things like that. It's super helpful to get feedback and just to watch and learn and observe. And then Michelle, I'm just throwing this in because I'm wild card, but I'm going to start doing something this week. And if any of you want to join me in this process, I would love to have you. But I've decided that this week, and actually for the rest of this month, every day I'm going to spend a little bit of time doing some reading. So I have, right now I'm reading Zig Ziglar on selling. It's called The Ultimate Handbook for the Complete Sales Professional. And there's a bazillion things out there that you could choose from. Zig Ziglar is very popular. Jim Rohn is another one. But I'm going to just spend at least 20 minutes a day reading about being a better me. And it doesn't have to be about selling. It could be about just being a better something, whatever you want to work on. And if you're not a reader, then download something. There's so many free things that you could listen to, just clips, things like that are free and available to you. There's daily, you can get on daily success emails. But if you start to surround yourself with things like this that are positive and uplifting, and you spend a little time in it every day, I think you'll definitely see a shift in your perception towards your business and who you are as a businesswoman. So I've already started. I've already done my 20 minutes today. And if you want to join me in that, post on our group what you're reading.
Mm-hmm.
That way we can get ideas for what we might want to look at.
Good job. Thank you, Lauren. Do you guys get some really
You're welcome.
Good, everybody was like heads down, right. We gave them their pens the whole way through. So you guys got some good pointers. Can you guys share just one quick thing each that you're like, ooh, can't wait to do that, or something that you're really excited about because of what Lauren went over? Reviewing the notes. Whoever wants to go, shout it out.
I'm excited to about the hostess coaching, to connect really with my hostesses, to really make them feel. I like that how Lauren said, make them feel comfortable about me coming into their homes.
Mm-hmm. Good. Terry Lee?
Yeah, I really like the tips on the hostess coaching as well. Just it gave a lot of good information that I could use towards my spas. So I'm excited to try them out.
Awesome. Susan?
Yeah. I really liked the going through the whole thing of book, sell, and recruit again to refresh my memory. But I really like the idea of the hot date. I've never used that before, so I'm going to try that.
And if you ever have a spa that for whatever reason cancels, reschedules, or whatever, like the day before, and you're not able to rebook it, obviously, don't say, woohoo, it's a night off. Find some client follow-up you can do, other hostess coaching, booking for future spas. Take that hour, 2 hours, and actually go to Starbucks or something and work. Read. Yeah, you've scheduled that time, so use it for spa business activity, okay? Try and be committed that way. Because sometimes we almost feel like, oh, whew, I don't have to do the spa, right? And then you just go, night off, let's go to the movies. But really, you should be doing something to forward your business. So plant that seed up there and use that. So our official time, we went over, but I'm glad because, Lauren, you gave us so much good stuff. I'm learning as well because we're constantly learning this. So thanks for everything you shared. People who are, if you girls have to run and go, that's okay. One thing I wanted to do real quick about Booking Blitz was just, if you guys get booked, to share something that that you did when you were connecting with people to get bookings during the Booking Blitz, because you girls all booked really well. What was something you found, because this will help girls watching after as well, was something you did well that you think helped you get the bookings? So if you guys can just share something that you kind of got in a rhythm and seemed to be working, can you just share that? Because Lauren and I are we're always looking for good things to learn from too. So
actually mine were actually some follow-up from people that I hadn't heard from an event. So I just asked if you're still interested. I have some, really great sales and just different things. So that's what most of mine was follow-up from an event that I didn't hear from them, or they had booked and hadn't rescheduled. And so just follow up.
Cool. Yeah. Your fortune's in the follow-up, they say. Terry Lee?
I'm not too sure.
That's okay. We'll give you a
Yeah.
second more to think. Here, Naomi.
I used some of the Frank list that we used, but I think my key was what I called like kind of winding up our year. So I tried to connect to like the big groups that I have, like my family and my friends, but I also teach and I dance. And so I was like, ladies, let's get relaxed now that the summer is coming. So that was like what I used.
Cool. And it obviously worked. Really, really well.
Mm-hmm.
Good. Yeah, find your rhythm. Find a reason. That I love that you did that. That was really, really good. Okay, so that's it, you guys. We'll close this off and get your homework done. You get your videos. You know, Naomi, you did yours. Got to get your videos done by tomorrow night, Monday night. So if everybody's doing like 2 minutes or less so far, that's really all we need to hear from you. So make sure you do that. And Lauren's going to post your stuff and engage in the group if you have questions or successes or anything. Okay, that's what that's for. Okay? Okay, girls, have a good night.
Bye.
See you.